that looks like. It's called bird seed because it has poppy seed, sunflower seed, it has organic oats, it has some toasted pumpkin seeds. It's got any seed that a bird would eat, you'll find it here. It's got sesame seeds, all that fun stuff.
Like the Spider-Man?
Yeah.
Sourdough. Over here we have our ice bin. Here is where we keep all of our doughs. So this is our walk-in. So part of the sourdough process is, come on in, is keeping doughs for multiple days. So these guys that we have here, our baker in the morning, he actually portioned these onto, these are called bannetons. These are made out of wood, and we put our sourdough in here. We let them rise slowly overnight. It's called a cold ferment. And then in the morning, we pull them out so they finish rising pretty much till they get to this level. And then that's what we bake off. And in a second, I'll show you what they look like. Over here, we keep all of our sourdough pizza doughs that are portioned off. So these are from the 14th. These were mixed yesterday. So they're 700 gram balls. Speaking of balls,
Hey, another.
we got our personals over here. So these are the size that we had for upstairs, the 12 inchers. Yeah, these are going to be 12s, and then those are the 18s. And then these are some flatbreads that we make for parva. So we stretch these out. We use the same dough. We stretch them out, and if you look at our dough, it's got a little bit of a whole wheat in there. It's got some malt flour in there, and it has our all-purpose and bread flour, as well as our sourdough mix, and then our garlic knots, which we pull these out at night and we let them proof all the way throughout the evening. And over here we have all of our mix of sourdough loaves. So this is our bird seed. This is what that looks like. It's called bird seed because it has poppy seed, sunflower seed, it has organic oats, it has some toasted pumpkin seeds. It's got any seed that a bird would eat, you'll find it here. It's got sesame seeds, all that fun stuff. And this is what we call our mise en place area. So mise en place, everything in its place. We have our oven-dried tomatoes. So these are little cherry tomatoes that we blister with a little bit of olive oil, garlic, salt, and a touch of sugar. We have our pickled vegetables. So we have our, these are our peppers, our carrots for the wings. We have our gremolata. So this goes on our garlic knots. This is a little pecorino, a little garlic, parsley, olive oil, and then we blend it. And then, as you can see right behind here, all of our kegs for our beers. And then we continue in the back. We just got some meatballs, some cheese that we're shredding. These are some of the cheeses that I was talking about. So these are called mozzarella curds. So this is how our fresh mozzarella comes in. This are large blocks of mozzarella curd. So this is pretty much raw curd, which the guys break apart, and then we cook in water and we stretch for our mozzarella mix. So apart from our curd, over here you'll find all of our vegetables. So we have our chicken breast. We don't do chicken tenders or like the Tyson breaded chicken. We brine our own chicken breast. We roast it in the oven, and then we chop it up for all of our chicken slices. We have broccoli rabe. These are our chicken Milanese, which we use for our heroes. We have our crispy bacon, which we're using over our carbonara slice. And then, yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah, you got it. This is made for you, my friend. Here, that's all for this area. Very hard hat. So we have some of our pizza doughs over here, so proofing out slowly. We keep them room temperature so they get nice and puffy. That's so that we get as much air in there as possible. You're going to start seeing some really nice bubbles. You see a little bit of that whole wheat flour that we use in there, which gives us some nice colors, nice textures, some nice flavor. I'm back over here. Oh, sorry about that.
No, you're good.
You're good? These are the bannetons that I was speaking about with the sourdough breads. So these, we use them every single day. These are the ones that we used this morning. So after we use them, we scrape off any residual flour. If they have a lot of flour caked up, we just give them a little bit of a rinse. And then we put them on top of our pizza oven. And then these are pretty much the vessel where our breads rise. And then they keep that like nice conical or cylindrical shape depending on what we're looking for. So we use different types of shapes. These are the ones that we sell upstairs sliced, and then we also use these for sandwiches over at Parva. So this is a 3-day process. One day we make the dough, the next day we shape the dough, put it in here, and then the third day we bake it. And then at night, once they cool down to room temperature, that's when we slice it nice and thin for our sandwiches.
Now I can't help but to state the obvious. This looks cultural. This doesn't look like industrial kitchen tool. Is this something that you got from growing up in the bakery? Something that came from Colombia specifically, or
not so much.
Dad?
This is actually a little bit more European. This is something that I learned on my culinary travels.
Okay.
My dad, he doesn't use this technique because a lot of the breads that we do in South America and primarily in Colombia they don't actually contain gluten. So they use a lot of like yuca starch, a lot of like potato starches. They use corn starches and corn flours. So they don't have that structure that a lot of these wheat style breads do. So this is a little bit more European. Over here I have, these are our cranberry and walnut, which you toast a little bit of toast walnuts. We add some cranberries to it, a little bit of honey, and then these slowly start rising. So once they pretty much start reaching over to the top, that's when we put them in the fridge, and then we do that cold ferment overnight. And then tomorrow around noontime is when we bake them off for the following day. So it is an extended process. Over here I have some of the breads if you guys want to check them out. So after they come out of the oven, these are our baguettes, sourdough baguettes, and these are some of our sourdough loaves. So we need to let them cool properly before slicing them, because you would think that once the bread comes out of the oven it's fully cooked, but since these are so large, there's a lot of heat from the outside that are still cooking the inside. So we let them cool completely before slicing. And then over here, the ones that have bran, these are our whole wheat sourdoughs. These are our classic white sourdoughs. We have some that have seeds over here, the cranberry that you saw over there. So we're slowly starting to incorporate different flavors, different mixes of flours. Over here, these that are a little bit darker, these are our cranberry loaves. These that have the sesame, these are the birdseed loaves. Those are my favorite. So we use them, we sell them sliced, and then we also use them for sandwiches, and then we have it for some of our like breakfast or brunch dishes here. And then once everything is pretty much cool to the touch, ooh,
Lost some cups.
coffee cups.
Oh,
So
okay.
when we're going over to Parva and we're getting like these delicious Italian combo or the Turkey club, this bread is coming fresh daily out of this kitchen.
Coming right from here. Yep. And all these will be sliced and served on tomorrow's lunch plates, breakfast plates, and also for the sandwiches. And then we got our machine over here. This is Bertha. She's our slicer, which the guys finished slicing this morning. And then over here they put the dough, and then slowly these serrated blades cut them until you get these nice even slices over here.
Wow,
Yeah, this is the Bertha,
Nice.
the big girl.
that's
Yeah.
super dope. That's nice. Very, very nice.
A little bit about what we do over here.
Yeah.
The Alta Cucina, the
You can
tomatoes
tell
that I
it's
was
like
talking about. These are the most beautiful tomatoes that you can get. These are super sweet. They're domestic. They don't have any sugars. They don't have any preservatives. They don't have anything that'll make you say, "What is this?" This is as sweet of a tomato as you could get. So these are the whole peeled tomatoes, and then we have the saporito, which are the fillets. So we use these whole peeled tomatoes, which are, you could probably see maybe about 20 or 25 Roma tomatoes in here. As soon as you crack this open, they're completely red. You don't see any orange, you don't see any green. And then this is what we blend for our house tomato sauce. And the saporito, these fillets, they pretty much take out the outside, and then the core and the inside, they remove that. These are the strips. This is what we break apart by hand, and then we add a little bit of our roasted garlic in there, a little bit of oregano, and that's it. Touch of salt. There's no sugar, there's no tomato paste, nothing else. Try to keep it as simple as possible so you can actually taste the tomato instead of having anything
real
mixed into
flavor.
it. Yeah.
Real flavor. Dope. That's awesome.
Hey guys,
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
any questions? This is where we rest our baguettes. So similar to how the bannetons work for the large loaves, are what they call, this is a couche. So it's like a fabric that we reutilize, and these are still indented by the baguettes that we just saw back there that were baked off this morning. So the guys will portion the baguettes onto here, and they'll create these little barriers, these little walls. And what that does is that it helps it create that shape that we're looking for, that like almost cylindrical shape. Because the doughs that we use are so high hydration that if you don't have that, then it's going to be like a pancake. It's going to be like a flatbread. Yeah, so that's what helps us keep that shape. And then these, after we use them, we let them dry. They're still a little bit moist. We let them dry. Once they're dry, we pretty much add a little bit of hot water to it to take any residual flour, and then we put them on top of our pizza oven until they dry out, and then we'll reuse them the next day. Yep. So this is one of those old school techniques where a lot of people that they do baguettes nowadays, they get these sheet trays that actually have those indentations. But this is like the traditional French way of doing it. Yep.
I like it.
The whole cycle. It just kind of starts over, and then the parts is kind of sequenced, and then everything kind of just starts all over again. I love it.
Oh, this was like a learning experience, like a culinary
Trial and
career,
error, like-
where I
Yeah.
first started with my dad's stuff, like the basics of what we learned there, and then slowly, it's one day I learned how to make a baguette, and then from there we learned how to make the first sourdough, and then it's what can we add to the sourdough, what can we do next, and then it's always been like a building block, and that's why bread is so interesting because you could create so much with just a bag of flour.
Yeah, that's
From
incredible.
pizza to bread to baguettes to this to that to breading chicken, there's so much you could do.
Bread, the baguettes,
Bird
yeah,
seed.
yes, it's
Bird seed,
endless.
that's
of
dope.
possibilities.
Yeah.
Kind of limited by your imagination and your menu size.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nah, that's very cool. This is going to be a dope episode. I'm,
Yeah. I'm
excited, man. I'm
It's going to be- I like when he told me about it. I was like, I'm super excited. But I was like, it was like I told him I was like, this is gonna be the blueprint for what we trying to do. You know what I mean? Just like is this like I said, proof of concept. Like we had this idea, but this is a great. You guys got a great framework with tell your story, tell all the things you guys are building, and then kind of show it to everybody.
So this
is
guy
dope.
talk good and good about us, or not that good?
No, it was. I was super excited. I was hyped. I was
See,
like,
come sa.
yeah.
I'm so sorry.
They're all right, I guess.
So sorry.
ish. And we have a lot of potential to also come back and revisit, right?
Yeah, like there's more layers to you guys. Like you guys have a lot of layers to what you built. That is dope to kind of share that too. You know what I mean? Like so, we start with the pizza,
Share some
and
ideas
then
on like different cocktails to go with maybe some pastries.
some pastries. You know what I mean? We already came up with a new concept today for how we're gonna infuse coquito into all of these pieces. But then I think And you said you guys are Colombian?
Yeah.
Colombian? Okay,
But
so it's,
born here.
but born here, right? Okay.
Our parents
Parents
came
are
when
kid-
they were 17, 18,
Yeah.
and they've been here ever since. Now they're in their 70s, and
Yeah.
this is pretty much what we grew into, the family business.
No, that's beautiful. That's beautiful. No, I
Watching
think that's what
getting
we're.
kids around the business. So it's,
You saw them
Yeah.
today. They came and they love coming here, making the pizza, and
Yeah.
and they see all this. And then in the morning when I go to work, it's like, Papi, where are you going? And it's like, to work. He's like, to Elements? And I'm like, yeah. Oh, to Parva? Yes. They already know. They already know.
Yeah.
Their parents are working.
Yeah.
And the same thing that we saw with our parents growing up. When my parents started next door, we were extreme, like 2-3 years old, and then our parents brought us in, to go wash dishes, to clean this, to do that, and then we also saw what they were doing, and now, we're growing up, and we're in this world, and
Yeah.
it's,
But
it's
that's what
generation.
what we were talking about too earlier, and I guess this was to tell you guys what he told me that kind of got me excited. That was just the interesting part of it is that, like the stories, like nothing. I don't know. For me personally, like I didn't have anything like handed, like in terms of like the legacy, right, that your family provided. But I was like, I'm excited to tell that sort of story because you guys had a foundation, right? You got to see it growing up, right? We've seen what our parents is working, but now you guys had the opportunity to find your specialty, find your niche,
Yes.
and then now make it your own.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So like now you put your own twist or your own expansion. You had the foundation. Now there's a next level, right?
Yeah.
There's a next layer to it. There's a new business model that hasn't been done, but that's your creativity, right? That's where you guys put your own spin on it. That's where you put your signature,
Yes.
right? So you got the same way the bread is, right? Like you got the starter that's been for years and years and years, but it's how you make it now, right? You take the sourdough starter, but then you put it into your next batch of dough, and then you make something new, something special. You guys got, I think it's a great story to tell because in any community, right? When you go, I feel like we kind of like get told like you just got to go to college, don't do what we did, or like you don't have to. It's like we all got to work, right? But when we work, we can build within our community. You know what I'm saying? And we can put on like each business has a way to build with our own signature, that we can make each of our businesses special, that the world will want to know about it. Not just everybody in the surrounding blocks is good too. That keeps it every day, but people are gonna want. It's gonna become a destination to come see what we create, right? Because you're not just doing it because your dad did it and your mom did it. You do it because you do it. You know what I'm saying? You do it because you do it. You guys were able to find your niche in the business and then come together.
And one other thing, yesterday almost at 10 o'clock, he texted me. He said, David, our friend is going to come over with, Clive and you to come and do some drinks. I said, okay, let's see what happens.
Yeah.
But you guys come in, with your own twist or your own, ingredients or your own drinks or your own thing. Now you're adding it to our thing. Like, wow, it's like, you bring it to another level. And, and, we met here, my friend, maybe like 1 or 2 years ago in the cars. I remember I saw him in the Jaguar over there, nice convertible, and I'm like, okay. And then he invited us to an event, and then now he come to us. Like, wow, it's like things start like growing and growing, and like you said, my parents started. Now now we're here, and with you guys, we can even do other things.
Yeah, exactly. Right? It's and I think it's like my grandfather's a preacher, right? So it's a parable, right? Like the yeast, the starter, is gonna tell us is the foundation, but we can add to it every generation. Everything keeps building and keeps building, and it's beautiful because we're gonna be able to keep growing these things together. No, you're good.
Oh, okay,
Come through, no
I
problem.
just need my box.
Go ahead.
Give me a second. I'll get it for you.
But yeah, no, I think that's the great part of this. Like that's what we're trying to do. Is like we're trying to it's like we had this idea, and we're just like we want to tell these stories. We want to talk. It's about family. It's about community. It's about all these different things, and like around the things that we love, right? Versus like we're not doing this because we have to. Whatever. It's like no, we're passionate about this.
I told him. I said to him, it's so cool that we could do this. We could also incorporate a little bit, our cars, and then even our families, because it makes it so exciting.
Yeah, because it's not things like I always joke because it's like we don't play golf to get away from our families. Like we do the things that we love, but we can include our families in it. You know what I'm saying? Like it's like we're not running away because we can't stand these people. Like no. The things that we love and like to do, we're able to include them into it to be able to just. Like my casual, like when I break away, I don't need to break away because I'm not running away. Like it's like what I mean. It's like they just get to do what I like to do. Versus all the times as fathers, we always kind of have to placate to what everybody else wants and needs. But when we want to go do what we want to do, they can come along too because what we do is cool shit.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Definitely, man. That was a good one.
You know what I mean? So that's
we're
what's
not
up.
fighting being overproduced.
Right, we're not being
like worried about the kids running through the frame or making noise in the background.
No, they're part of the show.
Adds to it. Yeah.
They part of the show.
I admire him a lot. I don't know him too personal, and his family.
Yeah.
But every time I see his stories and his family and his kids and here and then he's doing all this, I'm like, wow, that guy is a family guy, and I respect that from him.
For sure.
But I see it from you guys as well. You take them out with you. It might not be what they want to do on a Saturday or Sunday. But if you're gonna be here for 2 or 3 hours, you bring them with you. They get to be a part of it, be involved in it, and then you go and you do the part afterwards.
Yes.
You go do the family dinner in the evening afterwards. So you get to cater to everybody's taste, everybody's likes, and that's just your job as a father, right?
Yeah.
Like feed the family,
It's
provide
exposure.
for the family.
You're exposing them to different things, different people that they normally may not get just in their own neighborhood, all those sort of things. So like that's the job. Right, you know what I mean, and then that's what, and like I said, like that's where it gives the opportunity now that the next generation, they can take now your foundation that you guys have built, right? You've got sons that are a day apart, right?
Yep.
The cousins, right? Now the cousins can say, all right, well, this is what I like. This is what I like. I see what my dad and my uncle did. Now we're gonna do what we like to do.
Yep.
But we have a foundation, right? You know what I mean? Like it might be something different. Like they got tradition and legacy that they can build off of, which is really cool.
Yep.
Yeah, for sure.
That's cool.
Cool, man.
So thank you so much for stopping by.
Yeah.
You know that this is your second home. It was definitely amazing.
Yes.
Meeting you.
Yes, for
having
sure,
you
for sure.
here.
Yeah, definitely.
Next time you gotta bring some of these nuts.
I always bring those.
It's always good sharing all these experiences because
Yeah.
it brings people together, man.
Yeah,
It's
for
development,
sure,
man.
for sure, for sure.
So
Yeah,
we
let's
can
do
run
it.
up.
This is awesome. Great, thank you guys.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.